All right. Well, I'm going to see if how it is that I can't be seen here. There we go. All right. I am hoping, I am assuming that I can be heard. It is National Trucker Day. This is ID Crisis Design. Most of the time when I'm doing these streams, working with a, you're looking at a custom paint, pinstripe, things like this. And I've got some of that stuff in the hopper. It'll be coming soon, or I'll be uploading a video. As always, life is pretty hectic. I'm not trying to make excuses, but if I don't time these things just right, then nothing ever happens. And I'm working from Rumble Studio. Things were a little clunky there. I finally got it figured out, and then I had to reboot the computer because it was not recognizing my microphone. First time for everything, but I got my coffee. It is 9 to 9. And who knows what the algorithm is going to do with you. So I thought it would be nice to go through on National Trucker Day some of what the algorithm is feeding me. And what it is feeding me is this. I've got it all under my stream subjects. My wheel, I think my mouse wheel is dying too. I'm getting upwards and downwards when I don't want it. Let's see. Okay, so let's go through here. We'll make this nice and big for you. Okay, and a lot of guys out there are calling this flip flop driving. Now, I don't know how to feel about that. I know it's some sort of a slight slur. Some might say microaggression. I don't believe in those things. I believe in sharp observations. I like my flip flops. I love my open toed sandals. I know some people just don't dig that. They don't like to look at other people's feet, but it is summertime, and I will tend to take them far into the fall just to protest the nasty weather that's coming. So, at any rate, let's go through some of these. That's an obvious whoopsie daisy. We don't know who that was. We don't know what happened, but there's a lot of that going around. Where's my trucks? Yeah, here's one.
Fuck yeah, another great fucking illegal U-turn by some of fucking Canada's greatest fucking drivers.
Nobody had to tell you it was Canada.
Go, buddy.
You could hear it in the accent. There is something about this particular one I am curious about. If you look over to the right, just beyond the front of this trailer on the opposite side of the logo, right there. I don't know if you can see this. See that right there? To me, that looks like a road sign for a roundabout. If what happened is he got off on the wrong road on the way to the roundabout, then I can understand and wanted to do a U-turn. Don't do it. It's dumb. You go to the next exit, you turn around, you do it the right way. Sorry, you're an idiot. You inconvenienced yourself. You don't got to inconvenience everybody else.
Fucking meatball.
Absolutely. And what we're dealing with here, I got to get a better way of figuring this out. What we're dealing with here is called the non-domiciled CDL. We're dealing with that in South Dakota. We're dealing with it in especially California. That very famous Sikh trucker that killed three immigrants, sliding right under the cab there. It's just absolutely terrible. Here's another one. Whoop. Okay. Well, now here's a nice compilation of them here. National Trucker Day. You see, I'm sure there's others.
Wow, that came in handy.
Yeah, I'm sure there's others, and I'm not going to be able to catch all of them. But let's go. Let me see if I can get out of this and go down one. All right. We've got Alberta shuts down 5 unsafe trucker driver training schools and 13 carriers. Great. Alberta. Okay. I love Alberta. And I've been thinking very hard about this. Okay. That it might not be a bad idea to, I'm going to see if I can find it, because I think we can be really convenient here. Okay. Let's see where. Okay. Yeah. Okay, now what we can do is, I'm going to see if I can get this screen sharing thing to work out just right. I'm going to screen share a window. Let's share this. Okay, now you see right here, you can see right in the middle there, there's Minnesota, and it borders Ontario and Manitoba. Okay, here's my idea. We take this Minnesota here, okay, and we give that to Canada. All right? And then we just flat trade for Alberta. Okay, so the advantage there is that we don't have to change any of the stars on the flag. We can leave it at like a nice even 50, okay? But we get some people, okay, who have decent, common sense policy in Alberta. Let's get that turned right, and then we can get rid of all this mess, okay? And that's just one idea. I've got a lot of them. Let's share this screen again. Look at that beautiful mug. All right. See, Alberta knows how to shut down 5 unsafe truck driving centers, training schools, and 13 carriers. They're removed from Alberta's roads due to poor performance, unsafe equipment, failure to meet safety standards. 7 were identified as chameleon carriers, firms that evade oversight by changing names, creating new entities. There's a lot of that happening with the labeling on trucks. And let's see if we can get out of this. Empowering truck against unnecessary law. I don't know if I can find the one. Here. Perfect. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Check this out.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen, right here. Swapping the name out of the companies, DOTs, everything. Right here. Look at this motherfucking shit right here.
That doesn't even look.
Second truck I've done seen pull in here.
Doesn't even look professional. It's like held up there with duct tape.
Y'all can pull that. DOT number 3243700. Just throwing it on there.
Absolutely amazing.
Pulled up, gave it to him. Well, it was a white truck pulled up and gave it to him. That's the second truck that's coming here and did that this truck met.
Yeah. Now I actually, hold on a second, getting rid of that. Now this here, maybe Danielle, I just started following that account today. She's all over this thing. This is a petition to protect truckers' rights. Let's see what that's all about here. Let's see. I'm going to want to share a different screen altogether. And so it's going to be this guy right here. All right. Gotcha. Let's go.
Hey guys, Sid Mahant here, the chairman of Indiana Diverse Trucker Association. I'm here to
Hope that's not too loud.
To make some changes in the law. They are not in a favor of truckers. So what it is, I believe that you know that despite having an years of driving experience and holding a commercial driving license, if a person wants to become a resident of Indiana State, they must pass a written knowledge exam again to obtain an Indiana driving license with a CDL endorsement.
Rare. You got to be able to read and write English.
A person can only obtain a CDL when they complete all the requirements according to the FMCSA, Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration.
Yes, that's a Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. There for a reason. Federal Motor Carrier Safety. And it's federal because these trucks are going all over the country. Indiana's got their thing, every state's got their thing, and then there's compliance across the contiguous United States and Alaska.
Which means the license is federally approved, and is good for all the states in America. Is the Indiana law above the federal law? I don't think so, and we have to follow the federal guidelines. So, and believe me or not, there are so many families, they're suffering due to the Indiana law.
Okay. Families are suffering due to the Indiana law. How exactly? Because there's a lot of things that you can do. Driving a truck is not the only job to get. It just simply isn't. Let's listen to that again.
So, and believe me or not, there are so many families, they're suffering due to the Indiana law.
Yep. The Indiana law that says you have to be able to read and write English to drive a truck so that you can read the signs that say no U-turn and the signs that say stop or the signs that tell you where you're going.
Above the federal law, I don't think so, and
he doesn't think so. He doesn't think.
Is the Indiana law above the federal law? I don't think so, and we have to follow the federal guidelines. So, and believe me or not, there are so many families, they're suffering due to the Indiana law that is impairing truck drivers or the trucking companies to move to Indiana State, especially for the first generation immigrants and those above certain age, and the English language is not their first language, and they've been driving for a long time and they're not habitual of reading and writing, so it's hard for them to pass the written test.
It's supposed to be hard to pass a written test. If you can't, if I went to India and I had to fill out something, pass some test where I was reading and writing whatever the name of the language is, I'm not going to say Indian, I think it's something else, Pashtun or whatever, then I lose. Okay, this country is breaking its own back, bending over backwards for first generation immigrants so that they can. I do not drive a truck. I do some work for a trucking company. I decorate their doors, so I know what a US DOT number is. That's your United States Department of Transportation license number. It's got to be on the truck. You can't just swap it out with a photocopy and some duct tape. I know what I'm doing. That's what that is. When you just start handing these things out, it's clearly becoming dangerous. You'll see when we get further into these other videos.
I believe it is, totally unnecessary and completely waste of time and resources that the person has to redo the test here again in Indiana. Why is there discrimination against blue-collar truck drivers?
Okay, so now we're turning it into a class thing. We're turning it into they're discriminating against blue-collar truck drivers. I don't know that there is such a thing as a white-collar truck driver. They're truck drivers. That's that. This guy's pissing me off, and he dresses like freaking Benny Hinn.
Compared to other jobs. Well, you all know that. Help me break.
So compared to other jobs, those are the jobs that you're going to end up working because you can't read or write to do this one.
Is there discrimination against blue-collar truck drivers, compared to other jobs? Well, you all know that. Help me bring diversity to Indiana. Mm-hmm. Let's work together to fix our, broken laws. It's a
broken law because you can't live up to it. It's a broken law because you can't pass the test. Therefore, it's broken.
Let's fight together against the discrimination towards the truckers.
This thing about discrimination really pisses me off too, because every time I go to the grocery store to get a block of smoked Gouda or whatever, I am literally discriminating against all of the other cheeses for the one that I want, or the breakfast cereal. I don't want the breakfast cereal that's going to make that's going to make my urine look radioactive. I'm going to get the breakfast cereal that's actually good for me. I'm going to discriminate against all of the other ones. That's what that means. So yeah, you should be discriminated against if you don't know how to do your friggin' job. If you're going to be a danger on the roadway,
this petition here
that's it.
To make the changes to this crazy law, and I need
Crazy.
your help. Let's work
It's
together.
a crazy
Let's
law.
make our trucking industry strong.
But there's no way that makes the trucking industry strong. By relaxing the standards, you are literally doing the opposite, relaxing versus strengthening. I mean, it's the difference between sitting around and getting fat and doing exercises, resistance, becoming stronger. It's insane.
Let's sign the petition and make some changes here. Thank you all.
I'm not signing anything you can't pronounce. All right, let's get into this. These other ones. I had to get that out there. Just share this the screen that we had on before. All right, enough of that guy. Yeah, empowering truckers against unnecessary laws. This is basically the video that we just saw, and this is maybe Danielle, and she's doing a great job here. January 2021. What's his name? Siddharth Mahant. Okay, listen, believe me when I tell you that this has absolutely nothing to do with being, my God, being racist. My doctor is Indian, and I can understand what he says, and he can understand what I say, and he rolls his eyes when he knows that I'm not listening to him, just like a doctor should. Love him to death. He knows what he's doing. I trust him. And he's probably a better driver than every single one of these dorks. Siddharth Mahant, Sikh American former driver, appointed to the Department of Transportation's Motor Carrier Safety Advisory Committee by President. Not a joke. 23, he creates this change in a .org petition. This is basically the video that we were looking at. Unnecessary laws, discriminating blue truck drivers. Help me change the law so it's easier for people that look like me, because they look like me, to do this job, not because they're any good at it. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Okay, I don't want to like bust in on other people's stuff. Fair use. This is maybe Danielle down here. It looks like a very smart young lady. Let's listen to what she has to say.
Many sleepless nights digging into this stuff and posting it. And when he said all of the reports are, oh my gosh, it makes me almost cry now. When he said all of the reports are true, I'm a woman. I lost it because I've spent so much time trying to get attention on these things, and our industry is a mess right now. And it breaks my heart every time that there's a legacy family generational trucking company files for bankruptcy. It's heartbreaking. And trying to get some of this stuff done and clean up the mess, that's all I want to do. And so to hear him say that and confirm that everything I've been posting and found is true, it's amazing. I hate it, but it's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Many sleepless nights.
So what you're dealing with is it's a numbers game. I doubt that these drivers are getting paid what a professional driver would. I don't have any numbers, but I can only assume the reason why this would be happening is there's going to be some discrimination involved. And if it's not the same dynamic as people picking our fruit, then what is the point? Okay, so now you've got reckless drivers. You're saving money on the front end, but it's making it more expensive for everybody on the back end, because the more this happens, the more the accidents there are, the more the insurance rates go up. And then legitimate trucking companies like my friends that I do work for, that goes up for them, which in turn makes it harder for them to spend money on me labeling their trucks. They've got to tighten their belts because these asshats are just letting anybody at all drive a
Today,
truck.
Florida's Attorney General is going to announce that all the trucking weigh stations in the state of Florida will now serve as immigration checkpoints.
Great idea.
Yeah, absolute
great idea.
genius.
And by the way, I also think we should find out who gave him his road test, who greenlighted it, what company insured him, what company hired him, and all those companies pay the price. That's the only thing you got to do. You got to destroy the companies that are putting our lives at risk.
Right. Now that's the same, the same mentality behind companies that hire illegal aliens to pick your fruit or do whatever. They're trying to save a buck by breaking the law. And in this case, it's putting people in danger. It's destroying the infrastructure, because now those road signs and those barriers, and in some cases the pavement, has to be redone. So now your drive to work is getting screwed up, which I really hate road work, but man, and the corridor that I take to get from, it's not very long, but mine, where I'm at, it's a little snaky, on the highway, and it's already, it's already dangerous. Thank God we haven't seen a ton of accidents this year around me, but I haven't seen any of these people. Now, the people that I do work for, they're like, oh yeah, it's pretty bad.
I recently went undercover posing as a non-domicile, non-English speaking driver with zero experience to see just how easy and quick it would be to obtain a truck driving job in America. Now, the first thing I did is I went and I created a fake Facebook account, and then I typed in trucking jobs. And there's tons of Facebook groups just like the one right there that pop up. You join the groups, and right out of the gate, there's hundreds of posts like this right here. Assalamu alaikum, need Amazon drivers. Now, these Facebook groups are very, I guess you could say, utilitarian, because not only can you find these obscure non-domicile jobs, but you can also browse for active MC numbers with Amazon accounts already attached to them, so that you can just buy the MC number from somebody else, duct tape it to the side of your truck, and you're good to go. There's a whole black market on these Facebook groups selling MC numbers with active accounts. So have you screwed your MC number up? As a driver went out and killed somebody under your MC number? That's okay. Just get on this Facebook group and you can buy another one, print it off, and duct tape it to your door, and then show up at Amazon, and you can still haul their freight for them. Perhaps even you're looking to sell an MC number with an active Amazon account. You can do that also. Now, moving forward with the process, we're about 5 minutes in now. I reached out via text message to this phone number right here. I simply said, are you still hiring for Amazon driver? A short time later, I got a phone call, and that phone call was a guy who I personally could barely understand. I was trying to emulate an accent the best that I could to remain cloaked, and the very first question they asked was the deciding factor if they would hire me was, where are you from originally? I couldn't say I was from America, so I lied, and I said that I was from India. They then took my information, and I got a phone call back shortly thereafter, and it was a 3-minute phone call with the guy who was sort of the head honcho over the entire operation, who told me it was totally okay that I don't have experience.
Yeah.
That's not going to be an issue at all, and that they would be happy to put me behind the wheel of a truck, regardless of circumstances.
Wow.
But just wait.
Just absolute. It's bad enough. Okay, your grandmother's getting scammed out of her life savings or whatever. Okay, but this black market for MC numbers. I don't know why people aren't more pissed about this on National Trucker Day. Is one probably being today's National Trucker Day. This is one of the reasons why I'm seeing all of this. Anyways, let's see here. We got this is basically what there's maybe Danielle doing great work there. Non-domicile CDL. There's another one. Am I at the top here? I thought there was another one. No, there's another one that I did have, but I wasn't sure where it was from. I couldn't. I couldn't decide if it was legit or not, so I decided to leave it out. But now we do have something happening here that it seems to be like things are looking up. So I'm going to end this particular evening, this particular stream with some good news.
Talk about, I think, a critical issue, important issue in regard to the safety of our roadways. Because we have a government system designed to keep American families on the road safe.
Yep.
But that system has been compromised.
Yep.
I'm talking about non-domiciled commercial driver's licenses that are issued across the country.
Make it illegal.
So in plain English, this is a license to operate a massive 80,000-pound truck that's being issued to foreign drivers who are not U.S. citizens or lawful permanent residents. The process for issuing these licenses is absolutely 100% broken. It has become a threat to public safety, and it is a national emergency that requires action right now. This isn't fear-mongering. This is a serious business that entails American talk about, I think, a critical issue, important issue.
I agree. The entire thing should be shit canned. You take it right back to zero and start over again. And if you cannot read, if you cannot write, if you do not know how to tie work boots on before you get behind the wheel of a big rig, you are out. That is it. Go work somewhere else doing something else. But for crying out loud, I don't even know if I feel safe with that because, don't work with food. You need to wash your hands first, whatever. There's this immigration thing is out of control. There's absolutely an utter lack of respect for our culture, for our laws, because nobody told you that things were going to be different. These streets are not paved with gold. Okay, I don't know. It's just it is out of hand. We do have a culture in America, and it's being trashed. And it's got to stop. And thank God, our president's doing something about it. And I think that everybody else needs to come alongside him and do something as well. I'm not I'm not calling for violence, but I'm also not saying to move out of the way at all. So anyways, keep your eyes peeled. Look out for those crazy drivers. Keep a safe distance. Whatever you've got to do on National Trucker Day. Let's keep America rolling. All right, let's see how easy it is to stop this stream. It was really freaking hard to start it. You guys can like this, share, subscribe, and all that cool stuff. I am seriously considering spending money on StreamYards because I'm tired of doing all the monkey business trying to get something going here. And I haven't figured out how to do intros or outros, and I don't feel like learning. So, but anyways, thanks for hanging out. I'll talk to you all later.